Awesome. Let's see if this lighting can get better. I don't know. Hey. Let's see. We got 3 people. 8. Hey, everyone. How are y'all doing tonight? I'm actually going to type something today. So tonight, I have nothing planned. I just kind of wanted to go live because I haven't been live in a minute. Yeah, I've just been kind of dealing with life and just kind of taking care of a few things and whatnot. But yeah, I've been wanting to go live and whatnot, but I haven't been able to do so. 1, because of my neighbors. 2, because, like I said, I've been kind of dealing with so much lately. But other than that, I missed you guys. I missed every single one of you. I missed being here. Today it's just been a weird kind of like okay day. It was productive in the beginning, but then it slowed down in the end, which is good. And I was planning on cooking today, but I forgot to get the pan to cook. Like I got the ingredients and everything, but I forgot the pan. So yeah. Just reading the chat. So yeah, I'm after this, I'm gonna run to the store and get my aluminum pan so I can cook my food. Because I'm just like, how do I? Because I always do this, and I literally made the list this go round. Like that's why I tell myself before I go to the grocery store, make a list, because if you don't make a list, you're gonna forget something. And I made the list. I'm like, I was even in the grocery store like crossing it out, like, all right, potatoes, I got that. Or I was like, all right, I got the drinks. Okay, cool. All right, got that. And so I'm like, whatever. I leave. I'm confident I have everything, and I'm just sitting eating El Pollo Loco. I'm just like, I forgot the pan. I think y'all have seen that meme, that DJ Khaled meme, was like whenever you like remembered like something, and he just gets up. He's like, oh, that was just literally me. It's just like, are you serious? Like, I just forgot the pan. So, what are your pronouns? I am a sir, him, he. That is my pronouns. I am a heterosexual male, and I am being attacked by gnats. I swear, I hate. That's the one of the main aspects of Texas I cannot stand, is that there's so many gnats and they attack you at random times. And it's not like I don't spray or anything like that. Like, you could do whatever you want. They're just gonna like come. Anyways, it is what it is. That nose ring is so freaking. Thank you. I've gotten mixed reviews. I've gotten people who really like the nose ring, and I've gotten people who are like detest by it. They're like, "Why is it just so extreme?" I'm like, "It's just a nose ring. Like, I can take it off. I can actually, I can just have the ring instead of the cross. But sometimes I feel like wearing the crucifix." I think one day I went out because I have crucifix earrings. I had a crucifix nose ring, and I had a crucifix chain. They're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, yeah. I was totally inspired by that indie band Crosses. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Someone else, another inspiration to that was John Mouse's Crucifix. If you haven't heard that song, it's a very interesting song. I recommend it. John Mouse Crucifix. But yeah, that was one of the inspirations for the look, if you're curious. Oh wow, that's dark too, Fighter. That's a really dark story. Yeah, I am. I think I no, I don't think I am allergic to bees. So like, I try not to. I try to be manly whenever there's a bee, because I don't want to come off deathly afraid. But like if there's a bee, I'm technically deathly afraid because I'm allergic, and I can't like explain. Like I feel weird explaining this. Like yeah, I'm allergic to bee stings. So like if a bee stings me, I'm like, and so like I'm just like I'm not allergic to any food, it's just bees, and I'm just like really that's what I'm allergic to. And so yeah, I'm just like nah, I can't do a bee sting. So like whenever there's a bee, I'm just like let me just be peaceful, let me just be chilled. It can smell fear. Uh, but bees don't sting you. Like they're not the ones to sting you. It's the wasps you got to worry about. That's the like a-holes of the insect world. Try to be manly. I try to be manly. Like you just see the bee, is like holy crap! It's like that's. And when I was younger, I couldn't hold it in. Like a bee came in, I flipped out, and they're like, "Why are you flipping out?" I'm allergic. But like now, I'm just kind of like, well, there's a bee in here. Gotta figure out how to get rid of that. I don't like killing bees. Like I don't. That's like you don't kill bees. You just get them out of the way. You don't do that. They're too important. That's the one thing. But yeah, wasps will just like just because they want to sting you, they'll sting you. That's like they're like, oh, he looks nice. Really? Like I just like I was just going to my car. That's how wasps work. Can you say happy birthday to happy birthday, Lucy? It's Cinco de Mayo, so hope you have a fun night. But drink responsibly. Now, if she's too young, don't drink. If you're too young, please don't drink. But if you are old enough, drink responsibly. Cinco de Mayo. But yeah. Yeah, that's me. Like, funny story. So, I'm admitting this on live. Like, I'm admitting this to you guys. So, what was it? Years ago. I think I was 21 years old. 21, 20, I don't know. I was dating this girl, and she came over along with a friend of mine, and I think we were just listening to music, playing games or whatever at my house. And we heard this like rattling sound in the kitchen. We're just like, what could that be? And I was getting freaked out. Oh, my phone that was a text message. Yes, I do have the Power Rangers text message tone. Yes, I am a fan of Power Rangers. Yes, I do have Power Rangers figures. If you don't know. Anyways, that's not back to the story. So there was a rumbling in the kitchen, and I'm just like, where is that coming from? And so we go in the kitchen, and it's coming from the trash can. Like, and so just to kind of give you guys an overall setup of the kitchen. The trash can is so the kitchen is the stove when you walk in. Oh my God, I'm getting you scrambled. So when you walk in, the stove is to your left, okay? And the windows that pretty much view the front yard are to your right, but they're like farther in. And the refrigerator is also to your right, but you know, whatever. Anyways, the trash cans are next to the windows. They're right next to the windows. And so we hear this like rumbling going on in the trash can, and we're like, what the heck is that? And I don't know what I saw, but I flipped. I looked in the trash can and I saw something moving, and I flipped. And I literally did the most unmanly thing in the world. And to this day, I never forgave myself about it. But I ran and I just put my girlfriend in front of me. I'm just like, no. She's like, you did it out. And she's like, wow. I was such an a-hole. And she's like, really? I'm like, it was like she like literally my friend was like, that was terrible. I'm like, well, if I live, shoot. I'm joking. But no, that really did happen. But I just thought that was pretty funny. Oh man. Oh man, what else? Yeah, she was just like, are you serious? Like, why would you just so you just leave me out to die? I'm like, look. Anyways, that was one of the most unmanly moments in my life. There was a couple of others. I just can't think of them at the moment. um, but yeah, this week has been interesting. Um, just kind of getting some like practicals done, and taxes are funny, but that's life. That's kind of part of life. Pay taxes, death, and yeah, I think that's pretty much too. But yeah, that's been basically my last couple days, weeks. It's just been like chilling around, just kind of figuring out plans to get out of this apartment. It's quiet now, which is very shocking. Um, because like it a while ago, before I even started the stream, there was just like banging going on everywhere. I'm just like, oh Lord, I have to warn about the banging. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been really like nonstop banging for some reason. So I'm like, I gotta get out of this apartment. And what made it really cool is that they sent us, and when I'm saying cool, I'm being very sarcastic. They gave us these like pamphlets on our doors. The front office gave us these pamphlets on our doors that basically gave us instructions, just like, yeah, if you're making too much noise, too many complaints will result in like penalties and stuff like that. And if you park in a reserved parking space, well, you can get towed. I'm like, I had a parking space for like almost pretty much half the time I was living here, and people would park in my parking space all the time, and they wouldn't tow. And it's like now they're starting to care. I probably switched management, but I'm just like, oh, so now you guys care about your tenants. Cool, good deal. But yeah, tell us a story about when you got lost somewhere and needed more stories. Oh man, that's been a lot of places. Um, Actually, I can tell you a story where I got lost, and it was actually a blessing in disguise. So I was hanging out with a friend one time back in Los Angeles, and I was trying to find a place to eat, but I really didn't know Los Angeles like that at the time. I just moved there. And yeah, so we were trying to find a place, but we end up getting lost in downtown Los Angeles. Like now, like we had a GPS, like we weren't technically lost, but we didn't know where we were. And so we just traveled and went around downtown Los Angeles, and it was fun, man. Like that was a real fun thing. And then after that, went get some coffee, and that was it. Can you do repeating words? Would you ever move back to LA? I would move back to LA if I had the money to, but it's expensive. What's in the trash? Nothing besides like, I don't know, like there's no food in the trash. If that's what you're wondering, there's no food in the trash. But it's like, napkins and like papers and stuff, like stuff I threw. It's like there's no food in that. Like the food stuff is in the kitchen, but like I took the trash out a while back, so that's not why that's happening. Like I told you, like it could be completely clean. It's just Texas. Like it's all like we had that problem almost in every apartment I've lived in. A gnat problem where it just they come for a while, you spray, you just kind of do what you got to do. It's not like a lot, but you'll probably get like bits flying around. They're just annoying because you'll be sitting around and just want to hit you in the face. It's not like it's like a abundant of gnats, like a problem, but like it'll just be like you'll sitting around and just like really. That's it. I'm like, oh, what was in the trash? Oh, I thought, okay. I'm like, what was in the trash? No, it was a rat. A rat was in the trash. I never really explained that. Yeah, a rat was in the trash. I completely flubbed on that. Yeah, there was a rat in the trash. The place I was staying at had rats. Um, and yeah, that's why I moved out. At some point, the rats were like downstairs, and like we tolerated that. I don't know where I was. Like again, 21. You don't care. But they hadn't come upstairs. But when the rats made it upstairs, I was out. Like I was just like, no, dude. Like I'm not putting up with rats. Now was some of that my fault? I kind of forgot the Halloween candy upstairs. Like that was a mistake. I don't know how I forgot that. Like I guess I just neglected that a while back. But at the same time, that's not how the rats came. If you're wondering, it wasn't because the Halloween candy was upstairs and the rats found the candy. No, what happened is there was a house that was right next to ours where we were staying, because I lived in a house, and they demolished the houses next to ours because they were going to build an apartment complex. And when they demolished the houses, like the rodents came our way. And so what happened is that the rodents pretty much came into this old house, because I lived in this like really old like farmhouse. It was the Lancashire house on off of Lancashire Boulevard in North Hollywood. And so like it was really old. So it's like it was really old. So like at that point, it was bound to start getting those little infestations. And so a rat had made it in, and no, I was like, nope. Do you do sign language? No, I didn't learn sign language. Do you, or have you ever had? Do you believe in reincarnation? To some degree, I do. To some degree, I believe we reincarnate, but we don't like. But we spiritually know things like intuitively. We're spiritually aware, and we like you'll know things like there's certain things you feel. Um, like people you just feel like you recognize, and you don't really have to explain things. You just kind of click. Those situations. Where you may be faced with certain situations, but it seems familiar to you. Like we have that like feeling, but like because our minds were created when we were born, we don't like completely remember like our past lives and stuff like that. That's impossible. But I mean, some people can channel their past lives, but most of us we can't. Uh, but yeah, I do believe in reincarnation to some degree. I believe we reincarnate for our souls to basically transform and elevate and learn a deeper lesson in this thing we call life, I guess. Do I smoke weed? That Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I do. I haven't smoked today honestly. I'm just kind of like really tired because I've been up for a while. Like I got up really early, like around to like film. I filmed really early this morning, and then I went run a couple errands and shop. That's kind of why I'm like, how did I forget the pan? Probably because I was tired. But I got up really early to film, and yeah. So it's like if you're wondering if that's what it is, I'm not stoned or anything like that. I'm tired. It's just because I've been up very early. I didn't smoke today. But what I did do is I did watch the new episodes of that Selena show on Netflix that they came up with new episodes. So it's just like, yes. So I did watch episode 1 and 2. I gotta finish watching tonight. I don't want to burn through it like I did the other one. I want to kind of pace it a little bit. I'm probably gonna burn through it. But yeah. Favorite ASM artist? I have too many. And the funny thing is that like lately I've been kind of I've been making a goal to find new ones, like really not like big ones, like really small ASM artists, like ones that are either starting up or like, have like around, you know, 60,000 subscriptions, maybe, or less, and just kind of like listening to their content and see what they create. Cause I like discovering new things. But right now my go-to artist lately has been Jelly Bean Green. She has been my go-to. That's who I've had on consistently. I've just been attracted to her videos lately. Her and Lunanate. Those two. Her and Lunanate. Let's see. Yeah, they just added new episodes I guess they did it for Cinco de Mayo. That's why, like when I was driving this morning, they were like, "Yeah, the Selena and Beyonce encounter in the mall really happened." I'm like, "The hell?" I'm like, "Selena and Beyonce, like, why are they talking about that?" And then I saw what they were talking. I'm like, Netflix new episodes, and so I went and checked Netflix, and they say new episodes. So new episodes of Selena. Um, it's it it's it, it I mean we all if you've seen it's deeper than the movie. If you've seen the movie, I mean, you pretty much know like how the story plays out, but it kind of goes more in depth a little bit, or it's just more things they talk about, and it's a fun show. I enjoy it. Um, but yeah, her birthday was actually recently. Someone let me know when I went to the 99-cent store. They're like, it's Selena's birthday today. And I don't know why I'd flubbed what was crazy about it is I was wearing her shirt. Like I was wearing her, my Selena shirt. Um, and it was her birthday. I didn't think I didn't remember. I just wasn't thinking about it. I just put on the shirt that day. And the lady's like, it's her birthday today. I'm like, for real? I'm like, all right, Selena, I see you, Abdul. I see you. Ants was my problem at one of my apartments, but that was back in like Los Angeles. It wasn't like ants that bit you. It was like those little black ants that just kind of were attracted. I think they call them sugar ants or whatever. They're attracted to like food or whatever. But that was a problem back in Los Angeles when I was living in Santa Monica. But that was the only time I had ants and stuff like that. That's the anime I just saw in the chat. That's the anime I was gonna get into next because I've been kind of like I've been watching different animes lately. I just finished Yusuke, if I said it correctly, the Black Samurai, which is I thought it was really good. Um, but now I'm gonna JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I have to watch that one. That was the one I was supposed to watch, and I'm also watching My Hero Academia season 5. I like that show. Man, I did not know she was. Well, how was I did not know? I knew, but I for some reason like there's so many things that slip my mind, and when people remind me, I'm like, how did I forget that? But like I was like, she was born in Lake Jackson. I'm like Jesus. So I was like, right there. I've been to Lake Jackson a couple times. Oh, are you a Scorpio sun? In Vedic astrology, I'm a Scorpio sun. In Western astrology, I'm a Sagittarius sun with a Gemini moon and a Aquarius rising. And so in Vedic, it's a Scorpio sun with a Taurus moon and a Capricorn rising, which I feel like that makes more sense for me. I feel like I'm more of a Scorpio sun with a Capricorn rising and a Taurus moon because although like I do know I do have those like Gemini moon traits. Sorry, like he literally flew on the thing. Anyways, although I do have those like Gemini moon traits, I do see myself more of a Taurus moon because I'm more like chill. Like I see myself like Obama's a Taurus moon, right? That makes sense. Like it's just really like even if you get frazzled, you're just kind of like, okay, gotta calm down a little bit. That's how I think. Like even though I might get look frazzled about certain things, I still, approach my thoughts in a very calm, diligent, practical manner. But it is what it is. Oh Lord, what do you think about Aquarius? I'm an Aquarius rising. Aquariuses are awesome. They're very analytical. They're very analytical. But they're very cool and they're very fun to talk to. They're very free thinkers. They're big free thinkers. They're innovative, and this Nat really wants to be a part of this video. They're innovative. They're inventive. They're very technologically savvy. I'm gonna be trying to catch this now, mate. And yeah, they're they're a bunch where they're quick. They're very intelligent and quick. An Aquarius is so intelligent and quick that like it's like a Gemini has like a whole library of information in their brains, but like I feel like an Aquarius can just pick up on things really quick. Like it's kind of like a Scorpio where it's like a Scorpio knows how to spot small details. That's why they're like the detectives of the zodiac. They're like the ones that can see the deep stuff, the really small details, the fine print. Whereas like the Aquarius can pick up on all the little subtle movements and stuff. You know, it's like if I think there's those like this like criminal test where you can see if someone's lying like based on their body movements. Aquariuses can pick that up real quick. Like if you're fidgeting, they're like you're nervous or something's wrong, and they just know. How did I come up with the name Silver Hair? So here's the thing. There's many reasons how this name came up, but I really thought about it, and like why would I think of that name? Well, there's three reasons. One, Silver Hair is kind of have a really mystical, kind of witchy vibe to it, which I really like, which is kind of like the theme I'm going for here. Um, Two, um, and this is the one that people really don't think about, but like I never really said anything about it. But when I was a kid, the very first costume, my very first Halloween costume was Bugs Bunny, the Silver Hair, the very original first Silver Hair Bugs Bunny. So I've always like he was always like my favorite character. Like everybody was a Mickey Mouse fan, but I was a Bugs Bunny fan. And I just remember just getting that costume. That was my first costume, and then it was Power Rangers. But yeah, my first costume was Bugs Bunny. So that's another one. And what's in and I think those are the two. Those are those are the big two. Is that it has a very witchy, mystical vibe for it. And I really like the name Silver Hair. It's very catchy, but also Bugs Bunny. Do you consider yourself a witch? Yeah, I do. Not orthodox. I'm more of an unorthodox witch because there are witches that are very more, orthodox with their beliefs and stuff. I just kind of go as I please with my type of practices. I don't do anything of dark magic. I do more protection. Um, I really mainly focus on like attracting good things and abundance and just kind of bringing peace and just clearing out negative stuff. That's basically where I try to work on because and as someone who's actually like that for someone who practices witchcraft, we've always kind of dabbled in the dark things, and just my spirit alone, I just noticed I can't do it. Like it'll hurt my spirit. Like it'll hurt my spirit and hurt me physically. And I've tried it. I was really young and I tried it. I was upset about something and I was like, what was it? I think I did. I don't know if I told this story. I was like 18. I was 18 years old. And there was this, God, I'm thinking about it now. I was like, that was stupid. But I never did it. I didn't do it because I bought everything. But before I could cast, they got real sick. But anyway, there was this girl I really liked, and she was with this guy, and I was just like, no, break them up, right? So what happened is that I got one of those like spell kits to do it, and I went to do it, but I got sick. I got real sick. And so I was just like, I can't do this. And the moment I threw that crap away, and like when I mean threw it away, like I put it in like the dumpster outside, like far away from me. I felt better instantly. And so that was kind of my thing of like, you can't do that. You can't dabble in the dark stuff. Just kind of let things be. And that's what that story kind of ended it. So I usually do like attract money, attract love, attract abundance in your life, attract happiness, clear out negative stuff. Like that's the type of stuff I work with because I mean, cursing somebody, I mean, you could do that, but I mean, it's not going to fix the problem. It's just going to make things worse. It always does make things worse. But yeah. What is that on your nose? That's a crucifix, good sir or madam. I just says Taurus C, so I don't really know if you're sir or madam, but whatever you reference to, that is a crucifix. Yeah, and like you had and just kind of like I just believe in the threefold rule, where it's like if you're gonna do something, you're gonna get that threefold, and I trust me, it does happen. Like if you don't believe that what you put out there, you're not gonna get back. Trust me, you may not see it coming. It may not come right away, but you'll get it back. And so I don't put that stuff out there. And so like, yeah, and it's like, and just want to put this out there for anyone who does do shadow work. No hate to you, man. Like I understand. Like sometimes you gotta be prepared. You know, you have to be prepared for certain situations. I just know for me, my spirit can't do it, and my guides won't let me do it. And then it's like I've done it, I've tried it, and it's been either, or if they allowed it to happen, it was because they were doing it for like, okay, this person did you wrong, we'll give them their karma, but other than that, you got to stay out of it. And so they're like it's they won't let me do it. I've tried it, they won't let me do it. So I just stay away from dark magic and stuff like that. If something is bad, I just focus on clearing it out and just bringing good stuff in. I feel the feels and then clear out the stuff. That's what you do. It is physically draining. How do guides work? Those random acts where you're just like, how did I escape that crap? That's how guides work. Those random thoughts you have that end up leading to bigger things, like those random things, like, why don't I just do this? And then it ends up being something that's really awesome. That's your guides whispering things in your ear. And when like those little moments, I think I've already said this, but again, where like your friends want to go out or somebody wants to go someplace and you're like, nah, I'm staying. I just feel like it's right to stay in. And then something really crazy happens and you're like, thank God I decided to stay in. That's how your guides work. Well, for me, like I'll feel sick or like the candle will go out. That happens a lot. The candle will continue to go out. It won't light, or if it burns, it'll be really low. And then like the candle will just like the flame will be like literally blue to this size, and then it'll go out. And so that's how I'm like, I'm just not wasting my energy where I can just like put my energy where I can make good things happen in my life rather than trying to inflict pain on another person. It isn't worth it. Like they'll do it to themselves. Like if they're doing this much to make me angry, I'm pretty sure they're doing the same thing to somebody else, and they're gonna piss somebody else off. It is what it is. But yeah. Supposed to appreciate your shadow attributes. Yeah, and like I said, you don't run away from your dark side by any means. Embrace the hell out of your dark side because that's where the real creativity comes from. Like I've learned to embrace my dark side. Like I'm not perfect in any way. Like I make terrible mistakes sometimes. Um, I don't expect anyone else to be perfect. Like that's why I don't judge anybody. Like I'll treat somebody that doesn't have a dime to their name the same way I'll treat somebody who has a billion. Like, you're just a man to me. You're just a woman to me. Or, whatever you identify as, you're just a being to me. You're not. So it is what it is. Like, I don't see a reason to judge anybody in this plane, especially when we're all trying to get home. That's the one thing I've been saying. I think someone said this to me, and I remember this whenever I'm really angry at somebody. It's just like we're all just trying to get home. Like we people do stupid things and they say stuff that may hurt us or they may screw us over. But at the end of the day, we're all just trying to get home. We're just taking stupid routes to get there sometimes. So that's just kind of how I've been taking it. Of course, I believe in extraterrestrial beings. I feel like more beings should show up. I feel like more beings should make themselves known so that I think to some degree that here's the thing. They've made themselves known. Like we've pretty much accepted that that's what it is. Like I feel like America, like they basically announced like, yeah, extraterrestrials exist. We're like, okay, cool. Because we're used to it, and it's good. I think it's amazing. I think honestly, at this point is the perfect time for more extraterrestrials to actually reveal themselves. So that way we can be like, all right, let's, what more knowledge can we obtain from this universe that we don't have, obviously, you know, because there's so much more we could know at this point. Like, imagine the amounts of like information that these, beings have, imagine the boundless amounts of information that can fix so many problems. It's just, yeah. I'm, and there's also malefic ones, which you got to stay away from. And you just got to be intuitively aware of which one's which. I'm waiting for this. I can't. Here's the thing, man. I've like when it comes to aliens, I believe I already kind of I never was the one saying that aliens didn't exist. Even growing up, I would be like, aliens exist. Like, yeah, they do. If like as big as this universe is, for aliens not to exist, it's like saying like it's like you're telling me that there's no oxygen in this room, yet I'm breathing oxygen. I don't know if that makes any sense to people, but you don't. I don't know. Destroy that analogy. That was a terrible freaking analogy. My brain just went and just farted. Just destroy that analogy. It's like telling me there's no coyotes in the woods over there, yet you've never been in the woods, and there's been known to be coyotes, in this area. So, like, how do you know if you haven't been in the woods that there are not coyotes in the woods? It's like, how do you know there's not no aliens in space if we haven't been that deep in space to know? It's just like we haven't explored that far. We've explored, you know, but we're not as far as we, as I think even possible for us to even go, because it's, it will take. It takes a while to get from. Jeez, I just thinking about it. That's insane. Like the travel time to even leave our universe. Like, how long would that take? Like, it may be short to us, but like the people on Earth, like how long to leave our universe? How long would that take? Like, yeah, exactly. So you just got to think about that. Like the amount of travel. Like we will have to even invent some sort of travel that can like obviously light speed. To like even get to that corner of the universe to where it would even make sense. So we don't even have that technology. I mean, to my knowledge, for all I know, you don't know what the US is hiding. But to my knowledge, we don't have the technology for light speed travel. Like 2 years from now, we've just unveiled the technology for light speed travel for the US what was it, Space Force. Like, really? Where did this come from? Thank you so much. Do you pay attention to hero movies and shows? They have hidden messages and truth. Yeah, it's all conditioning. That's all. I think I was telling it to somebody the other day. It's like this is like all that's conditioning. Like the superhero movies, all the abundant Star Wars movies you're watching, all these like different alien TV shows, these different superhero TV shows and stuff like that. Like it's all conditioning. That's why it's all coming out. And so like it's kind of conditioning our brains to be like, okay, these extraterrestrial beings actually exist. And so what we do is that when we get announced those types of like announcements, I'm like, what's going on? When you get announced those types of announcements, it's just like, oh well, I mean, we see them every day on television. I mean, like it's pretty much like watching the Kardashians at this point. So I mean, bring on freaking God. What was it? Don't bring on Thanos. Don't bring on Thanos. Bring on Star Lord or whatever his name is. Rocket Raccoon or Groot. Don't bring on Thanos, for the love of Christ. Don't bring on Thanos. Oh God. You don't need no, you don't need to travel physically to communicate with aliens. You don't. No, of course not. But what I'm saying is that for you to like at the time, again, I'm saying like I believe since I was a kid. So when people would ask me as a kid, before we even had this knowledge and understanding of like even telepathic communication with extraterrestrials, because extraterrestrials actually communicate via emotion. They don't communicate like we speak with our voices. Most extraterrestrials speak via emotion. So people will say like, I feel when they're talking to me. Like it's like a feeling. It's like you know what they're saying because you just feel it, because they communicate via emotion. That's how they access a lot of their technology is via emotion. And that's why emotion, if you know how to use it, it's one of the most powerful, energy sources, because it can fuel so much, but you just got to know how to use it. Or am I a Taurus? No, I'm a Sagittarius. I'm one of the horse people. Half horse, half man people. You can just say astral projection, any sort of like telepathic communication, any sort of interdimensional communication. You can communicate with aliens that way. Some people believe in it, some people don't. It depends on how susceptible you are to that sort of energy. And ayahuasca. But no, yeah, man, it's like uh whatever you do to connect with your higher beings, whether they be extraterrestrial, whether they be your ancestors. Like I use my type of meditation to connect with my ancestors. I have an altar, basically for me to connect to my ancestors. That's how I usually do my work, is via my own like group of like people who have done the work before me. I also work with like, angelic beings, because that's kind of one of my like, main sources of like work. Um, Also, I work with the Ganesh one back here a lot, because he's really good for release, breaking barriers and bringing in good luck. That's why I have a lot of Ganesh um, tapestries in the house. I also work with Shiva, and that's a fun. That's only for like protection and whatnot. Do you see angel numbers all the time? All the time, to where it's at a point where I see angel numbers to a point where that's all I see. Like that's literally, I'll look at a license plate and it's like 4747 or 5050 or 2020 or 3030 or 3333. That's pretty much all I see. Like right now it's 888. Like like I see angel numbers everywhere. It's like, the Matrix, the show, the movie, those movies, the Matrix. Obviously, if you don't know the Matrix, I don't know where you've been. But anyways, where you see all the numbers and stuff like that. That's how I see angel numbers. It's basically like the Matrix. Like now you can kind of see a different sort of code, and like certain people are starting to wake up to it, because we're all waking up to the fact that we all may be anomalies in this whole system to which we call our natural order. Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis? A lot, especially when I'm like restless and I can't sleep, but I want to, like, it's like I want to stay up, but I'm trying, my body wants to sleep. That's when the sleep paralysis happens. And that's because that's when my soul is restless, but my body doesn't want to move. It's never really like um, a thing where people will say it's like there's something sitting on your chest, and no, I don't see weird things or things coming out of the shadows or whatever. It's just I feel like my soul wants to get up and move and do some stuff, and like it has all these things, but my body's like, dude, I'm not doing anything. And it's just like, but eventually, like I have to shake myself out of it, because if I don't, like I can't be in that state. It'll freak me out. But yeah, thoughts of reincarnation. I think I talked about it earlier. Just low key, I feel like we get brought back. Reincarnation occurs if our spirits feels like there's another perspective it needs to gain in this life. And so what it'll do is that it may get whatever sort of energy that we're resonating at the time, that we choose to be reincarnated. That's the energy that we'll vibe with. And so whenever someone's like a woman is getting pregnant at the fetus level, where it's not yet gained consciousness, whatever energy is present, if your energy is present at the time, it gets in, it's attracted to that, family. In other words, they may be like a soulmate sort of situation going on. Like everyone that you meet on some level is your soulmate. I don't believe in the whole like your soulmate is your one true love. Like it means like people that you basically resonate with. Like your parents are your soulmate. Your best friend is your soulmate. Your dog, your cat. But anyways, your soul vibrates with these group of people. Says, hey, I like that fetus. Fetus gains some sort of conscious awareness, and then it's born, and then there you are. And then through that life, you gain a perspective in which your soul wants to gain in this life, to which it understands and learns and gets better. And then it dies, and if it feels it needs another perspective on Earth, it gets reborn and does it again. And just keeps learning and learning and learning like a computer. That's basically us. That's life. We're here to learn. We're in school. Can I see auras? No, I can't see auras. I didn't get that gift. I'm clairsentient. I'm not. I hear things. Like I hear I know when things are gonna happen. I hear like certain types of like thoughts, in my head. So where it's like you can almost hear the talking in your head. You're just like, what? And so like I'm clairsentient. So we're like, that's how like when I know certain things are gonna happen, I'll prepare for it, Pretty much. And the thing is that like we never really left source. That's the thing people don't understand, is that we've not left source. Like we're an extension of source. It's like source is like the tree, and we're like the leaves, and like the branches are like our lineage, like our ancestry and everything like that. And we're the leaves that continue. And like once we fall off, the more branches continue to grow. Da, 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 da. It's just kind of like we're all still a part of source. We're just like little like strands of it, if that makes any sense. So we're like little specks of a bigger picture. That's all it is. Exactly. We are source. It's just we're like the whole thing is like I'm you, you're me. I'm just a projection of your reality is basically all that. And it's an interesting concept to think about too. It's just like wow, to be part of all of that and just be in this like in the microcosm of things. It's really interesting to think about. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, sometimes life still sucks. It's like regardless of how like the bigger picture, like people like focus on the bigger picture and like just always have faith. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes this stuff gets like annoying. Like life gets painful. Like, what are you talking about? Like, be real for a second. Um, but yeah, pretty much. So let's see, not a concept. It's literally reality. No, it is. It's literally reality. It really is. I say it's a concept because people have different depictions of like life. And so like I'm not going to insult somebody who believes in the Adam and Eve theory, because to some degree that's not a lie. Like if there's actually a deeper story than that, I'm not really going to get into that. But but the whole Adam and Eve theory isn't a lie. I don't think Adam and Eve were like, the first. If they were the first humans, they were the first humans to be created. But then there were other humans that like other conscious humans after that. Like there wasn't just like Adam and Eve on Earth and that was it. Like it was just like, okay, they're the first. All right, next batch, But that's a whole different like discussion. But there's like I don't. In other words, I don't discredit people's beliefs. I don't discredit any sort of religious beliefs or any sort of like whatever you believe. I honestly believe that it's a piece of the puzzle that's essential. So I don't discredit it. If someone's a Christian, I don't discredit that. I think that's awesome. If you're a Buddhist, that's awesome. If you're a Muslim, that's awesome, because you have a piece of the puzzle to which will help us get to the eventual answer, if that makes any sense. So I don't discredit people's beliefs. I'm just like, all right, let's see what you believe. Let's take pieces of that, add it to the puzzle, see what we get. So it's like, to simplify it, I guess my way of thinking is just like, to say God is a man sitting on the throne making judgments is simplifying something that's so great. It's actually pathetic. It's actually an insult. It's like we're giving something that's supposed to have this enormous amount of power such a small identity. You know, just a man sitting on a throne. First of all, I don't believe God would be just a man. He would have to be like androgynous to some degree, because you need both male and female to create. You can't just be male. It just wouldn't work. Like if males just had, it would just be action but no like stillness. So basically it would just be like just movement but nothing to kind of ground that. So it wouldn't make, there wouldn't be a yin and yang, if that makes any sense. So, you know, but at the same time, is that is that thought process a vital piece to the puzzle? Yes. So I won't discredit it. If someone says that, I'm like, okay, well, we'll use that. We'll see where that takes us, and we'll go from there. It's like it's no reason. Like I don't believe in discredit religious beliefs, because like doing that's not going to help us get to our answer. It's just going to piss people off. That's all it's going to do. Exactly. But let's see. I imagine God to be long. Oh man, that's a different man. That's not God. That's a different man. That's the man. But no, but the concept, like the Matrix, the thing is that like if you really look at the Matrix, if you want to call it that, it's not there for for like for I guess for the basis of control. It's there for the basis of like learning and understanding reality to the best of our ability. Because if we didn't have a system, a lot of people wouldn't know how to function, if you really think about it, because not many people can just think freely on their own and survive. Like, oh, you know, like not many people can do that. Like not many people can, some people need that system to kind of function and operate. So it's not always there for like, you know, for just to enslave people. It's there to kind of help people kind of grasp reality and understand how, you know, how this reality works. So it's, you know, some people can use this so-called matrix or system, whatever you want to call it, to manipulate, which those types of people, that's, you know, obviously, you know what those types of people are. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not there to hurt. It's actually there to kind of help people grasp, you know, realities and its concepts, if that makes any sense. Right. And so like there's the problem is that the people that have a lot of control over the way the energies flow, or the way the matrix operates, the, you know, the businesses, Wall Street, our government, even, you know, even the problem with that is that a lot of those people don't have the best of intentions. And so something that was created to kind of help people, you know, kind of live and kind of like grasp reality. That's like, that's why we create society. That's why we create, you know, government. We don't create government because we want to, you know, because it's just a great, it's just like, you know, yeah, let's create government. No, we create government because we want to create an established order, so that way there's a certain way we do things, and we come into the agreement of that way of doing things, that way of life. And so that government represents that way of life that we all agree and abide by. And so we establish that sort of situation so that we can grasp this reality, so we can grasp understanding life. But the problem is a lot of our higher ups use that for, you know, manipulation, enslavement, and all that stuff. And that's where we have an issue. If we had people that had better intentions, um, then, you know, you would have a different result. But we also have to look at ourselves and be like, you know, why are we allowing these people to be in this position, you know? But that's it. Again, that's a whole different discussion. Have you seen? I've not seen Midnight Gospel on Netflix. Let's see. And like I said, the thing about what I've learned in this reality, especially like what I've learned living in this reality, is that you just got to look after yourself. Not in a selfish way, but you just got to make sure you're good mentally and physically and emotionally and all that stuff. And then when you're good and on the inside, you'll attract people and with that same sort of mentality, same sort of feeling. And so you'll meet the right people who will bring that goodness into your life instead of worrying about trying to like fix things you can't fix, like trying to change things in the world that you can't change. Like I would love all the racist cops to never exist, but I mean, I can't really change that. I can't, stop that from being a thing in America. It's just part of what exists and what is. But I can hopefully never be screwed enough to run into someone like that, and if that does happen, then I'm out of the game, so I don't have to do this life anymore. But you know, hopefully that never happens, obviously. But like, I think I was telling a friend of mine, it's like at some point in my life, I stopped being afraid of death. Like I just accepted, like if I die, well, I ain't got to do it. I ain't got to pay taxes anymore. I ain't got to work no more. I don't have to stress anymore. I don't have to worry about things anymore. It's just I can go to sleep. So it is what it is. So if you want to make it today, put me to sleep. Shit, you don't want to have to keep doing this. I don't have to do this anymore. But that's kind of how I am. It's like people are like, "Are you afraid to drive at night? Maybe get killed by a racist cop?" I'm like, "You want to get me out of the game? Get me out. Shoot, you got to worry about this hell. Like, not me. I'm good. Like I'm chilling. I'm somewhere. Um, but you know, just being afraid of everything at this point. Worrying about things you can't control, worrying about all this crazy stuff going on in the world. It makes you sick. It makes you wonder, and you know, at some point you can't let that bother you too much. But I actually had a plan tonight. But like I'll stay on for an extra 30 minutes. So I actually had a plan tonight, but I went on a rant. I brought my tarot with me. Also, by the way, I'm going to start a new channel. I'll put it whenever I start it, where I'm going to do just strictly pick a card readings because everybody's been requesting pick a card readings, and I've kind of had like a weird thing with tarot lately where I haven't felt connected enough to um read cards. I don't know. I felt so disconnected. I think the last time I tried doing a pick a card reading, my fingers did some weird thing and I just didn't do another one after that. So I just kind of stopped. And I don't know. I just had a weird thing with pick a card readings for a while, but I'm just kind of getting over myself at that point. But I'm going to try to start a new channel. I'm going to try to start. I am. Basically Silver Hair Tarot. It's going to be called. And like whenever I start it up and release the videos for it, which will be no later than next week, because I'm going to start filming sometime this week. I'm going to be posting like pick cards, and you can subscribe to that if you want. Share it out, but just kind of something different, because I think I do more Reiki and ASMR on this channel, and a lot of people want pick card readings, and I feel bad because I want to mix the two, but like I feel like it's better if I just split them. But yeah, I know, because they were like, "Why are you doing pick card readings?" But anyways, what I was gonna do, like I said, I'll stay in for an extra 30 minutes, and then I got to run to the store. If you super chat a question that's like a simple question, nothing like complicated that's going to take like 30 minutes for me to answer, but like something simple. If you super chat a question, I'll answer it with one of the cards, like with one of the decks. I'll just like shuffle, pull 3 cards, and then answer the question. So yeah. How's my auntie Louisiana? She's doing okay. She's still she's kind of handling the best she can with what happened. I'm just worried now because we're approaching hurricane season again, and it's just like, okay, like it's crazy. Like it is just crazy, but she's doing okay. It's whew, perks of living in the South. think you control all your unattached and happily. But yeah, so yeah, if y'all want to, if you have a question that you want to ask via like tarot, I'll answer for you. But anyways, yeah, just pretty much focus on what you can focus on. Don't worry about the things you can't, because if you don't, if you worry about all those other things, like I'll go on Twitter and I'll look at all the stuff going on, and it'll depending on what day it is, what tragedy happened, I'll be sick or just upset, and I'm like, I can't let myself sit in that type of like mess. So I got to get off the app sometimes. But that's the thing, man. You have to learn how to detach yourself away from all that stuff, because if you let it get to you, it'll eat you alive. Especially if you already got a lot of stuff going on in your life, anyway. No. Ask me to hang out. All right. Let's see. All right. There's one card. So far, so good. Let's see what we got. Okay. I feel he will ask you to hang out this weekend. I think the reason, if anything, if you're waiting, is because he's kind of pretty much either working a lot. There's probably like a lot of work going on. He's probably getting sidetracked with that. But besides that, yeah, I think from what I see of this card, he should be asking to hang out this weekend. So, but like I said, yeah, with the Eight of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, if you're waiting or if you're kind of like waiting on this, it's because it's probably work related. Okay. All right. Or something that he's kind of working on, whether it be family, work, or whatever, but there's just something that's occupying his time at the moment. All right. Will he pass his basic training? Let's see what we get. I've never done this before. Let's try this deck, because this one's not answering me. Will he pass his basic training? Whoop. Page of Wands. All right. He passes basic training. Give me 2 more cards, please. Not a whole heap. 2 more. Will he pass his basic training? Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna do it. He's gonna be tired though. He's gonna work him. But I got the 6 of Wands and the 4 of Wands, which is celebration and happiness. But like it's gonna work him. Like with the 10 of Swords, the 4 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands, like he's gonna achieve it, but it's gonna work him. So he's gonna be pretty tired. So if it's whatever he's gonna be doing, it's gonna push him. But he's gonna approach it pretty well. With the Page of Wands and stuff like that. He doesn't know what to expect. He's excited about it, but he'll do fine. He'll make it. He'll make it. It's gonna work him, but he'll make it. He'll make it. And good luck to him. And thank you, because if you're doing basic training, you're serving for us. So thank you for your service. My dad was a serviceman. I could never do it. I'm just not my calling, but I respect the ones that do. I have friends that are servicemen also, which I'm like, man, I respect. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't done tarot. I don't do tarot readings a lot. Because like it's not that I doubt myself, is that sometimes if I'm not clear on something, I'm not going to do a tarot reading and like give you the wrong answer and give you like don't give you hope. But some of those things like I don't know, just the thing about pick a card readings, and like I guess the main thing that I really kind of got annoyed with pick a card readings is that like I didn't think I would do. I mean, it's kind of a dumb thing to think though, but it's just like I don't know how well I'm going to do, because a lot of pick a card readings are really towards like female audiences, and I'm going to try to do it for everybody. So hopefully, you know, I'm going to try to gear it towards more of like an everybody audience rather than just the feminine audience. Because I feel like every time I go to a pick a card reading, it's about how does he feel about you? Even if it's like how do they go to how did he? And I'm like, okay, you could just say they, but okay. On Snapchat and so Snapchat. Here's the thing about Snapchat. I've like abandoned Snapchat. I don't know why. I've a like I don't know. I'm like I suck at social media. I really do. I probably would have more better engagement if like I didn't suck at social media, but I suck at social media. But yeah, I suck at social media. But yeah, I'll follow you whenever I get a chance. I'm like fighting with this like gnat that's like crawling on my computer. Whatever. But anyways, yeah, I've been actually went longer. But anyways, are they my other half? Let's see what we got. Is that person her other half? Let's see. All I'm gonna say is all I'm gonna say is that that's your choice. Because I think you're gonna in the future you may actually be surprised on actually the options you may have, but that's your choice. I'll say that. Because I actually saw something where it's just like I don't want to put it out there, but yeah, you're gonna have choices. But that's is he your other half? That's your choice. But there are other men that will be involved because when I pulled, I got the Emperor and the King of Pentacles, which are very very powerful men. If he's a what is that? An Earth sign, then the King of Pentacles was him. If he is a fire sign like an Aries or even an Earth sign in Capricorn, I would say that would be the Emperor. But I also saw the Seven of Swords with the Death card, and I saw Queen of Wands, and with the Queen of Wands, like I said, I saw two male figures. I don't know if you're a Queen of Wands or not. I don't know if you're like a fire sign, or if you just embody that energy, that go-getter type of like feminine energy, where it's just like the type of girl that's always going after her dreams. And my neighbors are banging on the ceiling again. But if you are that type that resonate with the Queen of Wands energy, I see you having like an abundance of choices. I see two choices, two guys. So like with the Seven of Swords, he's carrying 5 swords, be looking back at 2. So I think you're like you'll realize like you may have more than you bargained for, whatever. But in the end, you'll make that choice if he's your better half. If that makes sense. Now that can come true. Things can change. Life goes on. take them both. Would you ever put a nice water fountain in the background? A dig water fountain? If I could afford one, yeah. Or if I can, or just kind of like an added sound effects. Yeah, I could do added sound effects. Like if I actually have a water fountain, if I could ever afford one, yeah. But added sound effects, why not? I'm just reading the chat. But yeah, if that resonated, then yay. If it did not, then it may not resonate at the time. It may not resonate at all. But that's the cards that fell out. I'm like, okay. And there was, and like I had shuffled, put them, they fell out once, and I shuffled, put them back, and then I shuffled again, they fell out again. So I'm like, I guess that's what wanted to come out. So I'm like, all right. But yeah. It's quiet tonight. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna start this new channel. What else am I planning on doing? So far that's pretty much it. I've got 2 more videos, one going live tonight. I have another lot going live on Friday. I'm gonna film 2 more this week as well for next week. And then what else is happening? There's another video that's supposed to come out, but I'm just kind of waiting to get an approval from this like sponsor with this video. So once that happens, then there's another video I'm planning on releasing, and that's pretty much where I'm at. But yeah. Anyways. Oh, hey. I'm literally about to I'm like, it's getting quiet. I guess it's my cue to get out of here. I'm like, but yeah. How is your night going? I should be doing like hand sounds right now, but like I'm just not thinking about it. Yeah, I gotta cook. Like I literally have like the chicken, and the sausage in like in the sink defrosting. So I have to cook tonight. Like I actually literally have to put effort into actually cooking tonight. Like I've neglected that whole situation. I'm like, let's eat out, and my wallet's like, stop doing that. And I'm just like, I don't feel like cooking. But now I'm gonna have to cook because like money's getting funny like a clown. Oh, take your time, man. It's all good. Like no pressure, man. I'm just happy to work with you. I'm happy to collab. I'm just really just happy to collab. But man, take your time. No rush. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Everything's all good. Do you ever channel light language and do Reiki? I've never channeled light language. I can't channel light language. I have a friend that can channel light language. That's her thing. But yeah, it's that's a gift. My uncle can channel light language. I was too young to know about it because I was like, I always thought he was like, I was like, Mom, what is he saying? And she's just like, he's speaking in tongues. And I'm like, what is that? And then I realized that's what he can do. And so the coolest thing, and so now I'm branching into a story. Thank you for starting another story in me. Growing up as a kid, I had my Uncle Pat, and I just never connected with my Uncle Pat. Like he was such a spiritual individual that he was a hermit type of he is a hermit. Like he is a spiritual, like really hermit type of individual. And growing up, I just could not understand why he was the way he was. I could tell you right now, in my 28, I resonate with him more than anybody in my family right now. I resonate with that man and understanding how he is, why he is the way he is, and just the types of downloads he gets. I resonate with him more than anyone in my family right now, and that's scary to me sometimes. And so like he's like, and don't get me wrong, like my uncle is like the kindest individual you ever meet. Like if you need something, he's got you. Like he's not he's like, if like literally an angel incarnate. Like he is just a good man, like a really good man. Um, but he's always to himself, and he would always speak in tongues. He would always, like, we couldn't understand what he was saying. I'm like, what is he talking about? What is, like, is he like whatever? And then so like I found out late years later, like my mom would always say, like, he's just speaking in tongues. He's speaking in light language. And so yeah, man, it's, it was really interesting. And so like thinking back on it now, I'm just like, growing up, I always used to think he was just weird or strange, or like he was just out there. But like now I'm just like, I resonate with him more than anybody else. It's like he actually sees, I feel like he's the one family member I have that sees me for who I actually am. Like he's seen, like he can look at me and be like, yeah, like he's cool. Like he accepts it, which is really interesting. It's like, I feel like, don't get me wrong, I feel like, I have aunts and my family accept me for the most part. Like it's not like I'm like, you know, like some like lunatic that goes out and murder people. Like it's not that, but it's just like, just being in a very out there eccentric person that I am, being very spiritual and so connected to the, the occult that I am, the way I am, it's hard for a lot of people to get me. And so to really find out and be like, oh wow, like I had an uncle that pretty much was there the entire time and I didn't really pay attention to that. That was really interesting to me. No, I honestly believe that. Like ever since I was a kid, like a baby, like when I was a really like when I would go to my grandmother's place, I used to live with my grandmother, um yeah, he was the one always watching us outside. He was the one always, there. Like whenever we moved away from my house, when we first moved to like Opelousas, Louisiana, we stayed with him in his house. Just us, my mom, my brother and myself, we all stayed in him in his house. And like when Hurricane Rita hit, he not only housed, us, but he housed my aunt, uncle, and their two kids. So this dude, and mind you, this is a 3-bedroom house. It's not, a 3-bedroom, 1-story house, but it's not like a big house. It's like a 3-bedroom. I couldn't tell you the square footage off the back of my head right now, but it wasn't a big house. And you're supporting 2 families in there, and you aren't, and like with all the ruckus, and you don't even have the house to yourself. You're just stuck in there with a whole bunch of people, and you don't say a word, you don't complain. Yeah, that dude, man. Like to this day, I'm like, we really didn't appreciate him for like the crap. Like, man, nah. I feel like even thinking about it now, it's just like I didn't appreciate that dude, and that was stupid. Like but you're a kid, you don't think about that type of stuff. Right. And that's sometimes, and it's a blessing and it's a curse sometimes, because like the whole concept of like, because when you connect to people's energies, you can feel what they're going through, and then you can resonate. You can kind of like, based on what you've gone through, what can make them feel better to some degree. And so people get really attracted to that. And like, I don't mind helping people, but then sometimes like, even, we forget that we have limits. Like you can't just take on, all that stuff and whatever. So like, being a person, I've learned to kind of set my boundaries and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a blessing and a curse being empathic. And so like, you know it is what it is. That's how I approach life now. It is what it is, because you one moment, everything's good, and next moment things can go crazy. Yeah. And that's the thing with me, is that like, that's kind of why, like, I feel like with him, and like, that's why I say I resonate with my uncle, because he will hermit himself. And I feel like, because when he's around people, he just absorbs all their energy. And I think I do that. Like I do that too, where I absorb a lot of people's energy. And sometimes it's like, sometimes I don't think it's purposeful. I don't think it's something that like I do because I want to. It's just kind of like, it's kind of how I feel things. It's kind of how I feel the environment out, if that makes any sense. And so like when I feel the environment out, I can kind of see how people's, how they're feeling, how they react to certain things. And based on that, that's kind of what I pick up. But sometimes I pick up certain things, so I'm just like, I gotta get that out, get that out. And that's kind of one of the, speaking of that, that's kind of one of the reasons why I've been doing tarot readings on myself. And a lot of my tarot readings have been telling me you need to move because there's a lot of hostility in your environment, in your home. And like I said, like I think I've told you guys, like, I pick that up a lot. And so with all that hostility going on up there, it messes with my energy. And so like I'll be feeling kind of out of whack sometimes, and I'm thinking it's me, but it's not really me. It's, I'm picking up on that energy. And so they're like, yeah, you need to move out of your place. I'm like, yeah, but I'm stuck in this lease for another couple of months. And so, until that's done, then I'll be able to move out. But yeah, energy does affect me. And so, sometimes I have to hermit myself for a bit. Sometimes I have to kind of recluse. And so when I do that, I tell my friends all the time, like when I recluse like that, don't take that personally. Don't take it as me like avoiding you or, being a dick. Like I need to get myself back to center. And once I do that, we're good, we're going. And so, yeah, but I've actually been doing better. I'm starting to kind of get out of reclusive mode now. So it's getting there. But yeah, because I was a good hermit for a good year and a half. That wasn't cool. And that's the thing, growing up to be a natural healer, man. Like you don't know that as a kid. Like you can't explain like why you feel differently, and like the people next to you aren't resonate with what you're dealing with, or even like have a thought. Like in high school, like a lot of my friends were thinking about like, what are they doing tomorrow? What are they doing today? Or, like doing this. I'm thinking about like, I can't make mistakes because like, I don't want to mess my kids' lives up. So I'm like thinking this like far ahead in the future and stuff like that. My way of thinking as a kid was different. And so just like, I wouldn't think about like when it comes like another thing with me and just how it is. I was never good at like finessing people into casual relationships and stuff like that. Like I'm not good at that. Like if I really don't like doing that because it just emotionally it messes with me. Like I just feel too much. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I can never explain that to people because they're like, "Well, why don't you just got ignored?" It's like you really can't when it's like when it hurts. There's certain things like I feel so much sometimes that it hurts. Like I can feel physical pain, and so like I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that because I'll feel it later, and no, that's why I try to like pay attention to my decisions because like if I feel it later, it's not worth it. Color you wear symbols of communication, souls. The funny thing about that is, and so like, it seems like that, but like, I really never really, how am I gonna say this? That was the case for a while, but I took the posters down because that was the point. That's actually I like that comment about like the inner child and like kind of like using the whole Harry Potter as kind of like channeling that. That's a really good. I like that comment. I was doing that at, like hardcore when I had the posters up, but I took the posters down because I'm realizing now it's time to move on to more of an adulthood and stuff like that. The scar on my forehead isn't like that happened when I was a kid because like my stepsister closed, like not my stepsister, it was some chick, I don't know, that was hanging out with one of my sisters or whatever. She closed the door too quickly and I went, and that's how that happened. But like the magic and the circular glasses, I always love circular glasses because just I like circular glasses. But the magic stuff, I got into that when I was in like, I started doing witchcraft and stuff like that at the age of like I would say like 15, 16. And so I didn't realize that I knew my family was very spiritually connected to source. Like they were they were a very spiritual family. Where I come from a very spiritual type of family, but most of them focused their spirituality in the more Catholicism aspect, which is fine. Like I said, I don't, as long as you use your beliefs to do good and to promote positivity, I don't care what you believe. My mom was like, that's how my mom was. If you can promote your beliefs with positivity, it's fine. But most of them really use their spirituality to focus more on the Catholic teachings and stuff like that. I was not that kid. Like I had more questions. I wanted more answers. You know, I was like, you can't just tell me, you know, that's just how it is. Like there has to be a more broad, or like a more defined explanation to all this. Thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, like I try to like my thing is stay positive. Stay positive even when I pick up negative stuff. Try to remember, try to get bring myself in that positive situation. Whenever I start, you know, feeling myself taking on energy that obviously is not mine, I try to find something like music or, you know, even like the Mary Jane, something like that to kind of like detach me from that and kind of bring me back to center to where I can kind of be inward and kind of see the logical, you know, the logical things of it rather than kind of being so caught up in my emotion. Because that's the one thing about an empath is that sometimes when the emotion's so intense, you get caught up in it and you forget to center. And but you learn as you get older, what brings you back and what pulls you out. But yeah, that's me. But no, that's I really enjoyed that comment. That's a very What did I learn Reiki? I have friends that do. I've had a lot of friends that were doing spiritual work at some point. When I was living in Los Angeles. I watched a lot of friends and studied a lot of friends as they did spiritual work on people, and I just incorporated their techniques to what I do, and that's how I do it. And so like I work with like entities before every session, and I'll call them their help, and then from there I just kind of use whatever I'm channeled to do in the session, and whatever happens happens. Let's see. You should move to Spring, Texas. I'm a block away. Like I'm not gonna really give y'all my like exact location, but I'm like a block away. Like I'm not, yeah, Spring. I'm like I'm like Klein. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm Klein. That's where I'm at. Like the Kleinish area. So like if you don't know where that is, that's like near the airport. The George Bush Airport, if I'm not mistaken. Uh but yeah, I'm in the Klein area near the FM 1960. So yeah, I'm Spring, Texas. I'm not that far. Let's see. Uh, Try creating your own symbols. That's what I do. Like I don't. Uh, Dude, so you have to. So if you catch it in the morning or catch it the right time, the planes they'll be like a huge like I wouldn't say like like a armada, but they're like you'll see like four planes at a time, and you're like, where are they all going? And then you go like a couple miles east, and the airport's right there. But it's just I was driving one day and I just saw like four planes at a time, and I'm like, jeez, and like all like I mean, obviously they're spaced out, but I had never seen that many planes in one place, like at just like in one sitting. I'm like, that's a lot of planes in one place. But it was interesting, all kind of landing. I was like, yeah, I'm near the airport. And yeah, you can hear those planes kind of going in the videos because like you'll be like one right after the other. And it's like I'm saying, it's just like there'll be like four at a time. It's ridiculous. Thank you for much your content. Oh, great. Well, I'm glad you're getting rest. Trust me, we all need some rest. I work way. I don't. The thing about it is that I feel like I don't. It's not about me working way too much. It's I stress way too much. That's the thing with me. Oh my god, just like it, and it's just random things. Like you could be. My thing is the video will go perfectly well, and I will get this random sound, like either from my stomach or from the gift upstairs who just likes to bang on things. And I'm just like, I think one of the videos I was filming last week, you just hear boom. And I'm like, if I keep that in there, someone's gonna get scared and I'm gonna get a complaint. So I can't do that. So I have to edit that out. And I'm just like, come on. But yeah, you'll get sirens, and those are another thing. And you'll get some woman yelling out of at the top of her lungs right by my window, because that's where you yell, like right by my window. Um, you may get like a slew of like Hispanic music. It is what it is, man. Filming ASMR, like for those of y'all who wonder what the process is like well, like I could tell you, like we could tell you, like both me and Dr. Andrew Michaels could tell you, man. It's some crazy stuff, man. Like, and it's life. People like, it's life. You like it's just kind of part of it. But like some of those sounds, you're just like they can't be in there. It's like they can't be in there. And so like sometimes when I'm filming, I know for myself, I'll reshoot like 15 times because I'm just so annoyed. Like I'll get some noise that I don't want. Like that's not what I wanted to say, or like my tongue will get tied, or I'll say something that doesn't make any sense. So I'll reshoot like 15 times. I'm just like, I've been doing this for an hour and we still haven't finished this video. Why am I? I'm like, I guess we're not doing a video today. No, but I usually get it done. And then sometimes, like today, like I'll film two at a time and it'll just go smoothly with no noise. And those are the good days. But yeah, the colors are behind me are starting to show because the sun is going down finally. Let's see. Hello from Colorado. I'm so sorry. Take care, Rachel. ASMR my neighbors. That's a good idea. See how we can piss them off. Because seriously, like if you can't hear this now, like the thing is, I can handle this during the day. I can handle this noise during the day, but when I hear loud bangs at 3 a.m. in the morning, that's when I get mad. And so, like, I don't want to complain because I know it's a mixture of either that dog that's up there, or the amount of kids that tend to be up there. Because a dog isn't aware. It's like it's just gonna run and jump and make noise. Like dogs do that. I get it. I'm not gonna be that dude. Um, and kids are kids. Like kids are gonna run, kids are gonna jump, kids are gonna be kids. You can't really control that. But sometimes like I have a limit, like from 1 a.m. to like 5 a.m. in the morning. Can you like not make any noise, please, so I can sleep? I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, it's usually my streams aren't really ASMR related. It's just kind of more checking in related. So if it's not really ASMR, I apologize. But I do have a video that's coming live tonight. So if this doesn't get your ASMR fix, that will. Um, you should do Reiki for manifestation, like money. I have done actually a video on that. I'll do another one too. That's actually good. I could do another one for next week. But I've done a couple of those. But I'll do another one because that's actually a good idea. Joys of being in an apartment. You can say that again. But and it was my fault. I wanted upstairs in the beginning, but the upstairs apartment wasn't ready when I moved here, and so I was just like, well, I guess I got to take downstairs. But at the time, I was in a very crappy situation. I think you guys remember when I was basically filming from a hotel room. Remember that, guys? If you don't remember that, if you go a good couple videos back, you'll see where the scenery changes and there's these weird pictures in the background. It's like, where is he? Well, I was in a hotel room for a while. And so because I was kind of like homeless for a bit, I just wanted to find a good place so I wasn't spending all the money I had saved. And so what happened was that I found this place and I jumped at it and regret that purchase, but we'll address the ending of that in April, August, September. I gotta start looking for a place in June. Love it. I would. Some people, I try not to. I have people have mixed feelings about I'm playing with my cross. I have people have mixed feelings about the light therapy sometimes, so I kind of try to like sprinkle it in like every so often. The last two I didn't do it. The ones I released, the one that's coming out today and Friday, I didn't do the light therapy, but I will do it for next week. I will keep that in mind. No PO box. I haven't gotten a PO box yet, but I will get a PO box, and I'm gonna have to start a wish list because there's a couple things I want to do. Because people are like, why don't you do a wish list? I'm like, I don't know, because I feel kind of weird asking for stuff. Like, I don't know. I just feel like weird asking people, like, can you get me this? Can you get me that? You know, I mean, I'll use it for the channel, obviously. I'm not going to get stuff like, can you just give me this random thing that, like, I'm obviously not going to use for channels? Like, if I do a wish list, it's obviously going to be something I'm going to use for the channel. But yeah, I'll get a PO box. I'm gonna have to get a PO box for the fact that I can't stand my mailbox. I still think you'd be great in TikTok. I have a TikTok, I just don't use it that well. I told the other guy I suck at social media. I don't know why. I just do. I need you. Okay, guys, understand this. I should have been born in like the 60s or the 70s because like I act as if like I'm either like I'm like I social media to me doesn't mean much of anything. Like I could survive without social media if it didn't exist. I just don't care. Like that's not where I like YouTube and Instagram. Instagram I tolerate. Facebook I neglect even Facebook. Like I have a Facebook I've with family and friends. I don't even like go on Facebook like that. Twitter I only go on Twitter because it's news. You get news and you get little funny tweets and like stuff I could share on my timeline because I think it's funny or like stuff that I little social justice stuff whatever I don't know. But like the only reason why I have Twitter and I even use Twitter like I said is because like news and like sports. But I don't really like me and social media. Like I wish I was better at it because like I said, maybe I would probably generate more of a like traffic. Like maybe I would get more views in my videos per night, or maybe I'd get more engagement or whatever. But I'm just not that good at social media. Like I'm and that's the thing with me. I'm just not good at it. I'm into football. I'm not really proud of that. I'm into football, kind of basketball, baseball. Yeah, I'm slowly getting more into baseball and hockey. I should have been into hockey about yesterday, but I just never got it. I just never found a team that I resonated with. I guess I'll just find a team to bandwagon. I don't know. But football is my sport. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that I have to specify that football, NFL, American football, soccer. I need or football, actual football. I need to get into that. I have plenty of opportunities because they're always like posting on Twitter like you could watch this Manchester United or like this. I'm like I should be watching this, but I'm not, and I'm just like I follow Ocho Cinco, which is a football player. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals. I follow Ocho Cinco, and he's a huge soccer fan. So he's always posting things with soccer. And I'm just like, Ocho, I should be watching soccer right now, but I haven't gotten a team to root for. And a lot of yeah, I haven't got a team to root for, but I will. Did you ever have an emo phase or a dying breed? I had an emo and a goth phase. My emo phase came late high school. My goth phase was middle school, early high school. I had like I said, a bit of an emo phase, and then I went back to I just kind of expressing myself the way I wanted to express myself. Who's your celebrity crush? I got two now. So two celebrity crushes. I mean, you guys, I think if you've been following me enough, obviously Selena Gomez is she's been my celebrity crush since I was high school. But my new celebrity crush, not like why like, every time I have a celebrity crush, she always pops up in magazines and stuff like that. But I mean, it's like she's a celebrity, I know. But I start seeing her more in magazines, like, but it's Anya Taylor-Joy. Anya Taylor-Joy is my new celebrity crush. And then and Zendaya Coleman. Those are my three: Zendaya, Anya, and Selena. Those are my two. Those are my three: Zendaya, Anya, and Selena. So you're like, yeah. If I can, it'll be a dream if I'm Charlie, and those three are my angels. Like I would be Charlie, get Zendaya Coleman, Selena Gomez, and Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie's Angels, and be like, that'd be actually pretty badass if you think about it. Like Selena would be the no, Selena would be the she's like the actress. Like she's the one that could like play, like she's the one that can manipulate and play everybody. Anya's the smart one. She's the book nerd. And Zendaya, she's the muscle. She's the badass. And it's like Charlie's Angels right there. And like I'll be Charlie because like it's my fantasy. And and I'm Charlie. And so like they go on missions and stuff. And like, yeah. But like we don't ever like sleep together because like we have a business contract, and mixing business with pleasure would only complicate and muddy things, and I like money, so yeah. It's like you're only doing missions, like you're beautiful eye candy, but like I'm not sleeping with you because there's a contract in here and I'm not trying to violate that, and I ain't trying to see none of you three in court because you probably got better lawyers than me and we ain't having this conversation. So you gonna solve missions and I'm gonna just like tell you what the missions are. How about that? That's the arrangement we gonna have. Because like I love y'all, but I'm not getting me too. So like it's strictly business. But just let you know, I think you three ladies are beautiful. Holy Lord. And this half what was it, the progeny smack mob playing in the background, just like the old Charlie's Angels. But yeah. Charlie's Angels featuring Anya Taylor-Joy, Selena Gomez, and Zendaya Coleman, with Tyler Guillory being Charlie. Are you into books? Which genres? Um, I don't have the patience to read. That's my thing. To read a book, I don't have the it's I don't think how to say this. I can't sit still to read a book. I tried. I've successfully done it a couple times, but like to really sit there and read a book, my body just gets all wiggly and jittery, and that's why like I'm always moving and stuff like that. Like I can't sit still for too long. Like even when I'm sitting in my room, sitting still, I'm listening to music and I'm like dancing because I can't sit still. That's just kind of how I am. Start with graphic novels. I can. But like I said, it's the sitting still part. It's not the fact that I can't sit there and read a book. Like I can. It's just that like I'll read it, I'll get to like a certain portion of it, and then I'll be like, nah. That's why whenever I'm like when it comes to listening to stories, I just listen to it because then I can move and do things and exercise and just keep my body busy all the while accumulating information. It's like it's not like, oh, that's just kind of how my brain works. That makes any sense. What movie universe would I want to be a part of? It's hard because I feel like every universe has some sort of like like catastrophic like problem to it. Like I wouldn't say, you say Marvel, but then like if I'm part of the Marvel universe, like am I a hero? Hopefully I'm a hero. Obviously, I'll probably be Miles Morales or something like that. But Marvel, Yeah, but then there'll be like catastrophic events like Thanos just deciding to pop up somewhere. Say DC, but then you gotta deal with Darkseid, and you go to Harry Potter, and you gotta deal with Voldemort and all these other weird like dark entities and stuff like that. Care Bear, Care Bear universe. I'm joking. No, you know what would be a fun universe to be a part of? A fun universe to be a part of would be the Star Wars universe. And it would just, I don't know, I just think it would be pretty fun. I would have to be, I would be a Jedi. Just how I am as a person, I'd be a Jedi. I couldn't be a Mandalorian because I couldn't follow, I couldn't be that structured, and I couldn't be, I couldn't work for the Sith, or not the Sith. I couldn't work for the, I couldn't be like a stormtrooper or anything like that, because like that's no. I couldn't be that orderly. Like I have my own way about things, and I'm also really spiritual. And so the funny thing is, and I'll say this: the difference between so there's Star Trek people, and there's Star Wars people. Star Trek people tend to be the most logical people, very logical, like type of like, it's a very logical type of like, you know, sort of science fiction, whereas Star Wars is more spiritual if you really think about it. Whereas like I feel like I just lost my train of thought. That's not good. Star Trek has a more science, it's more focused on like science and creating like different aspect of like science fiction, where I feel like if you really think about Star Wars, it's just spirituality. It's being one with the universe and using that universal energy to basically channel and do things. And so a Jedi is someone who's ascended to a point where they're able to use that universal energy, which they call the Force, to basically do stuff. And so Star Wars has always taken a more spiritual perspective, where I feel like Star Trek has taken a more like sci-fi perspective, if that makes any sense. Which I really like. That's why I've always resonated towards Star Wars, because I've always saw the spirituality within the science fiction. But if you look at it, like Star Trek is more like strictly like, this is the science fiction. You know, spirituality can take place, but there's more spiritual aspects in Star Wars than there is to that. And that's why you also see more people like the general public flock more to Star Wars. I mean, you can't say that, because I see like Star Trek is getting, you know, Star Trek's, but like, I guess from my point of view, I see more of the general public flocking more to Star Wars is because of that spiritual aspect. And a lot of people are being pulled in that aspect. And if you don't believe me, look at Avatar. Why is that movie so big? Like, why is that film that big? Avatar is one of the most spiritual films to ever come out in our lifetime, and everyone is so attracted to that because they resonate with what the message is. They resonate with being part of something bigger and realizing that, like, just going and destroying things is just, it's not the way. It's like, it's just kind of like being a part of something different. And so we're so attracted to that message because we're learning that for ourselves in this lifetime, that we gravitate towards movies like that, and whatever. But speaking of like movies, I gotta see freaking Paddington, because apparently Paddington 2 is the best movie. Like, it's literally the best movie. I'm like, this Paddington 2, I gotta check this out. And like, I don't watch those. I'm not really one to go in that direction when it comes to film. But I'm terribly intrigued on how Paddington 2 beats Citizen Kane. I've seen Citizen Kane before, and so because I was a film student, and so being a film student, you got to learn to appreciate Citizen Kane because it is one of the greatest films of all time. Blah blah blah. It is. Don't get me wrong. Citizen Kane is one of the greatest films of all time, but like it's. I mean, it's kind of overrated in my eyes. It is what it is. But just Paddington 2, just topping that, it's just interesting. Like, I have to check it out. He's a teddy bear. I just find it so interesting that it's such a big movie that it's top Citizen Kane. I'm like, okay. The prequels suck. The first one was okay. So the last one, people agree the last prequel was the best, I guess. Do you have a boo boo? But anyways, the last one, the third one obviously was the best. The second one I tolerated. The first one annoyed me with Jar Jar Binks. Like Jar Jar Binks ruined the first movie for me completely. Misha, I'm like, just get out, go, Misha. Want to annoy you? Get out, get out of my mail, get out of my film, get out of my film. But yeah, so that's how I think about the prequels. I mean, any Star Wars fan can tell you that the original films were the best. The last few films that were made, like I guess, I don't know, episode 7 was okay, 8 threw me for a loop, and 9 that was rushed. You have this. No, I didn't mean. I just didn't understand what the question. I'm like, wait, what? What is that? What's the question? I didn't get it. I was like, what? Because I was like utterly confused. But I was like, I didn't want to lose my train of thought because I was like reading the question. I tend to lose my train of thought. So I'm like, wait, what is that question asking me? Wait, I can't lose my train of thought. No, so I didn't mean to discredit you like that. That wasn't my intention. I just didn't lose my train of thought. Let's see. Do you have DC? Do you like the DC movies? I like the new Joker film, if that qualifies. I'm probably going to enjoy the new Suicide Squad that's going to come out. But if you're asking me if I enjoyed the Justice League film, here's the thing: I only saw the Snyder cut. I never saw the 2017 film. So like I didn't expose myself. People already told me the 2017 Justice League film was crap, and I was just like, I'm not putting I already put myself through Batman v Superman and passed out like 3 times. And so I was just like, nah, I'm not gonna go and put myself to sleep. It's whatever. But then I watched the Snyder cut. I sat through the whole 4-hour film, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I was actually kind of hoping that they just since you already got me tasting it, let me finish the food. Since you already got the food in my mouth, like let me finish it. Like give me the full Snyder story. Like what happened? Like why did Joker? Why were they in that? Like I mean, my friend pretty much told me the whole story of how it went and like what was the plan for the Snyderverse, and just kind of so I pretty much know what happens and the weird decision that was going to take place. But DC movies can either hit or miss. I love Shazam though. Shazam was an amazing film. So like it's hit or miss with me with DC, whereas Marvel is the only misses that have happened has been like Iron Man 3, the one with the Mandarin. That one didn't hit with me well. I think that was 3. I don't think that was 2. The Mandarin was 3. And what was the other one? And everyone really loved the first Captain America. I was indifferent towards it. I thought it was okay. I just was indifferent towards it. But and also Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I hated. I didn't like that film. Like it put me to sleep. Like I was just like, okay, this is getting weird and complicated. But other than that, like those are the only 3 Marvel films I can come up with right now that really didn't hit for me. But DC is completely hit or miss. Wonder Woman, it just never caught me. It wasn't like I love Gal Gadot. Wonder Woman never caught me. I didn't see Aquaman. And whatever Green Lantern film they come up with, I'm afraid. So Shazam it's funny, but it's good. Like it's not like it doesn't just rely on comedy alone. Like it's really good. Like you'll enjoy it. Like even in the ending, if you don't like when the ending happens, it's the ending is beautiful. I love the ending of Shazam. So just check it out. You will not be disappointed. That's all I can say. But yeah, if I could be in a part of, someone asked if I could be part of the universe, and I think Star Wars would be the one I think I'd make most sense in. And plus, like, to have John Williams making the music in the background, that's a plus. There's a lot of these ASM artists do these like film type things, like these like really um like they really have the equipment to do that stuff, and I want to do, I see them doing that, I'm like, I want to do that, but I just don't have the props for the equipment. I watched Mortal Kombat. I have so here's my take on that film. I've completely gone over the time. I'll go 15 more minutes, and then I actually got to go jet to the store because I got to cook tonight. Um, Here's my thing on Mortal Kombat. Someone said we needed more Scorpion Sub-Zero battle. I think that's true, but I also wish they did like the original films, and I wish they did like the original films and had each individual fight. So that way we can fully enjoy each fight with each character instead of kind of going like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the last 30 minutes of the film where like, Sonya, you go after, you fight her. Liu Kang, you fight Shao Kahn. And I mean, no, not yeah. Was it Shao Kahn? Yeah. No, hold on. Shang Tsung, and then Shao Kahn was the next one. So Shang Tsung was the sorcerer. Shao Kahn he came from the underworld, nether realm, and that was in the second film. But yeah, basically guys go against all these guys at once, and it's just Mortal Kombat. Well, that was I preferred like the individual fights where it's just like Liu Kang versus Reptile, and then you go to Jax versus Goro, and then like Princess Katana versus, well, they didn't have Princess Katana in this one, but yeah, I like the individual fights so where we can focus on like the fights between the two characters, and it's actually like a thing. But it is what it is, man. It was a good film. I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it. It was too rushed. I think even the main guy, I forgot his name because he's a new actor to me. The main guy, he even said it. He was like a lot was cut from the film. There was more in the film, but they cut a lot of it out. I'm like, listen, Hollywood, we have literally sat through a 4-hour Snyder cut of Justice League. I can sit through a 3-hour version of Mortal Kombat because one, I've played almost every game. Two, I've watched all the films, like the older films. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen the older films. Like I watch them because they're cool. It's like if I will sit, stupid Nat. If I will sit and watch the Justice League movie for 4 hours, I can sit for a 3-hour cut of Mortal Kombat and get through and just enjoy it for what it is. Like, trust me, I can do that. Like, if I can sit 3 hours for the Lord of the Rings, I can sit 3 hours for Mortal Kombat. Yeah, Cole Young, that's him. Yeah, he was like they cut out out of the film. I'm like, why? Which is another thing. Hold on. Speaking of cutting things out of film and just just Hollywood in general. Hollywood, and I think now other television production companies are figuring out the secret. So and I hate that this is now a thing now that they're doing, but they take either the final film of a series or the final season of a show and split it into 2 parts. And you'll watch one season 1 year and you'll have to wait for the second half the next year. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Just give it to me. If you're gonna give me the film, give me the show, give me the show. If you're gonna give me the film, give me the film. Don't make me sit for this. Now I understand it's It's a money tactic. You want to milk it for all it's worth. I get it. Capitalism. Yeah. But it just like at the same time, like I kind of just want to watch it, and so I don't have to think about it anymore. Like I don't want to deal with it. It's like just give me all of Harry Potter. I'll sit there and watch it. It's not like I'm gonna. What else am I gonna do? If I'm literally taking time out of my day to watch it, I'm gonna sit here and watch it. But yeah, they did that. So they have been preaching for the longest period of time. Like they have been preaching for the longest period of time about that this was the final season of Attack on Titan. For the final season, Attack on Titan. Final season, Attack on Titan. I don't know if it was the earthquake that did it. Probably was the earthquake that did it. I don't know if it was just random acts of nature. Just I don't know what it was. But they end up splitting the season into two. And I'm like, but I thought it was the final season. So this is the final season. Why am I waiting for another season? Just say you were going to do 2 seasons. Don't say it's the final season. Just say just do 2 seasons, so that way I can just in my brain be like, okay, this isn't the final season. They know how to stretch it because here's the thing with anime, and I love anime just as much as most of you guys on the channel. But I can't. Sometimes the one thing that turns me off by anime is they'll talk about meaningless things for the entire episode, and at the very end of the episode gets the point, and you're just like, can we have addressed this like the entire episode so that the next episode we can go on a different subject? And so like the entire season of Attack on Titan, I understood what they were trying to, what they were doing with it. But some of those episodes, it's just like, you didn't have to talk this much. You could have gotten this point across in the episode previous, and we could have easily gotten to this point and gotten the same thing and not have to sit through like 3 episodes that rehash one point. And so like, now we got to wait for another year to get a resolution to the season that should have just been 1 season. I don't even know if I want to watch anymore. It's like I'm annoyed. And so same thing goes for Ozark. Ozark is doing that crap where they're going to like the final season is coming out and they're going to release half of it and they're going to wait the next year and release the other half. It's like, I get it. You want to make money. I understand it. But like Harry Potter ruined films with that crap, because when Harry Potter split the Deathly Hallows into 2, they realized that they could make more money that way. And because of that, they've been doing it to movies. They've been doing it to TV shows like Game of Thrones. Did we really need you to split Game of Thrones into a second, to like the final season? We really need you to split that because you didn't do a good job on the final season, on the very, very final season? Like the very, very final episode sucked. So did you really need to split the entire season for that? It's just like, it annoys me. It's like, if you're going to split something like that, at least make it good. If you're going to do that, give me as if you were going to give it to me if it was the whole season. Don't just give me like first the final season where you fill one half with 3 meaningful episodes and like the rest is filler, and then you give me the second portion and you give me the whole first half is filler, and then you get to the point. I like hearing you say seasons. It sucked. It's like, and that's just how I am. It's just like, if you're gonna split a season or a show and put it off to the next season, make sure you have the juice to make it good. Don't do it because you just want to rack in some more racks. Like, come on, bro. Man, it's ridiculous. And so like, a part of me now is just like, sometimes when people are like, you want to get into shows, like I'm wary about it, because I'm like, do I really want to get into the show so they can manipulate me into do? It's like I don't know. But an actual show I'll recommend, since I think it's done with the season. I think the it's not done. The show is not complete, but like season 1 is over. And if you really want a neat superhero show to watch, Invincible. Invincible is such a good show. King Cantu, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. But if you are a fan of superhero shows and you are a fan of like watching really interesting, fun shows, superhero related, I highly recommend Invincible because I watched, like, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Um, that one's good. But yeah, I just ever since Harry Potter did that with Deathly Hollows, I've been noticing a lot of people and a lot of films have been doing that, a lot of movie, TV shows, and now I'm starting to see anime do it, and I'm just like, I'll give you a shout out. Give me a super chat. Let's see. Not God. Dark on Netflix is good. The final season, I feel like the final season kind of went all over the place. What are you doing up there, Mr. Man? I mean, I got where they were going with it. I love the show, by the way, and I love the that's how I found Agnes Obel. I love the show. I love the music in it too. Um, I love the concept. Um, it's just it go like the final season for me kind of goes off the rails. I'm like, okay, because it's just like they'll go like it's so crazy, but it's a good show. Dark, I recommend Dark on Netflix. Um, let's see, it was let's see. But anyways, I actually have to get going at some point. I am doing pretty well. I cannot complain. Everything's going good. I just kind of dealing with business sides of life right now, and yeah, that's the only thing I'm kind of worried about. But I've been saying this for a long time. Whenever troubles arise in my life, and it's not me tooting my own horn because I don't want us to sound like I'm like and don't do anything about your problems. No. Usually when it comes to like when troubles arise, as much as I like to have a fit about it, they usually fix themselves. So it's like I can stress about it like for like 3 days, but the problem usually fixes itself. So like I yesterday I was stressing about some stuff financially. Um, I was like, I don't know how I'll be able to pay for this stuff, but like I said, these things usually fix themselves. And for me to worry about it, it only is just gonna make me sick. And so other than that, I can't complain on any other level. I'm healthy. I'm on my medication. I'm eating properly. I'm getting back into my health regimen. I'm taking my vitamins and whatnot. So health wise, can't complain. Um, so I'm good. I wish, man, that'd be good if you can have essays write themselves. Um, is your cheek all right? Yeah, my cheek is fine. Long story short, I had a bit of a zit here, and I was shaving, and it doesn't, like, you wouldn't notice it if I take it off. Like, you won't notice anything. Like, it's not like it's a scratch, like a bare, like it's like a scab. But I just didn't like the way it looked, so I just put like a bandage over it to cover it. But it's pretty much gone down completely now. It's just you got to have that little scratch, and I'm just kind of waiting for that to just kind of dissipate, and that's all. But nothing. It's nothing serious. Yeah, it's because I mean, like, I remember stressing out about something last year where I was just like, I feel like I was freaking out about something because I don't know how I'm gonna be able to pay this. Like, I don't have the money for this, and then it all falls in out of nowhere, and it's just like, you know what? Let me just stop worrying about stuff and freaking out and making myself sick when everything tends to fix itself. And so I was reading. Matter of fact, I got this app called Falatin. Um, somebody I met recently had showed me, and so I had rubbed. It's like genie in a lamp thing. And so they were like, "You're worrying about this financial situation, but a tall man will help you." And I'm like, "What do you mean a tall man will help me?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, my friend Stan." And so, which he did help me. And so, like, it's just kind of a matter of just getting the dotting the i's and crossing the t's, and whatever situation I got to deal with, I'll deal with. But like I said, it'll probably fix itself. And me stressing over it yesterday wasn't like Serious. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I was literally gonna come on here and be like, guys, it's getting bad. We may have to do a GoFundMe, but I'm like, nah, let me not go that drastic. Cause like, as much as I want to freak out about this, it's just like it's not that serious. Like, it'll fix itself. It always fixes itself. Like, for me to go like, we in danger, guys. It's like, it's not that serious. It's like I some like that's the Sagittarius in me. Like, sometimes I have that anxiety to a point where I go to like DEFCON. I think DEFCON 1 is the worst. If I'm not, DEFCON 5 is fine, but DEFCON 1, it's like, if it's backwards, it's backwards. But I usually go to worst case scenarios whenever I get like bad news at first, and then I sit with it and I kind of just kind of sit with it for a while, and then like I said, it resolves itself eventually, and just to worry about it just doesn't seem like a point, you know. What's the app? Falatin. So it's Aladdin, but with an F. Falatin. You got to watch ads to do the little readings and stuff like that. But if you pay, they'll let you access the app for free. But if you don't want to pay, then you just watch ads and it's fine. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I don't want to pay for something and I just gotta watch ads, I'll watch the ads. You know, if I don't want to pay for it, you know, like I have a podcast that I listen to, and I love those guys. I should be a Patreon for them, but I just never gotten around to it. And just with finances, I just kind of want to add another expense right now. But like, they're like, you know, we're just gonna stuff our podcast with ads if you don't want to be a patron. I'm like, that's fair. You know, you got to make your money some way. So I'll just put up with the ads. You know, I'll just skip over the ads. But as long as you get paid, I don't care. And so like, that's why when it comes to people with putting ads in their videos, I don't really care. Like, I get it. Like, I mean, I'm a content creator and I understand that we got to make revenue. So, you know, you got to put ads in your videos. Put ads in your videos. That's why I pay for premium. You know, it is what it is. It's like, if I'm not gonna pay for it, then you got to make your money somehow. But that's just me. Falatin. That's it. Candles are good. It's just, it's my thing is, because my problem is when I get live, I kind of get addicted to it. Like, I can't get off being live. Like, once I get live, like, I can't get off being live, and like, it's weird. But it's cool. Like, candles, I have actually, like, if you ever been in my house, and people can vouch for this, like, it's candles everywhere. Like, my house is, I rarely have lights on in my house. I need you people to understand this. Like, my light bill was $50. My light bill last month was $40. I don't use a lot of light in this house. The only times I use light is when I make videos and if I go to the bathroom, you know, whatever, or if I'm cooking. But for the most part, my apartment is either candlelit, or if it's not candlelit, I may have like one little pixie light in the background, kind of, you know, or like the little red lamp over there going on. But like, it stays lit. Yeah, it's like, my house I prefer my space being candlelit. It's like, it's nighttime. Embrace the darkness. Embrace the nighttime. Like, don't run away from it. Now, if you need the light to like work and stuff, of course. But if you're just sitting down, chilling, listening to music, man, candlelight's fine. You could just sit down, smoke a blunt, drink some wine, and listen to music. Like, that's a good damn night to me. I don't need all that light on because it's just too much. It's just ugh. But yeah, that's how, like, I have a whole bunch of candles in my house. That's actually one of my addictions is candles. I love candles. Like, there was this one job application, like I said, I was thinking about like going back to like a 9 to 5. There was this one job application I was looking at, and they were asking about like a candle maker. It's like, do you want to learn how to make candles? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to learn how to make candles. But then they said you need to do a drug test. I'm like, I smoke way too much weed for that. So I'm like, I can't do that. I was like, that's not gonna happen. It's like, I love to make candles, but I not stop smoking weed. It's like, I love candles, but I love weed more. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. I was like, that I can't work there now. But if you don't, it is what it is. What scents do I like best? My favorite scent of all time will always be cinnamon. That will always be my go-to. But I've been getting a lot of like little tropical scents too, like little like a kiwi, like a mandarin type of like little tropical scents. Um, citrusy scents, but always go to a cinnamon. I'm a cinnamon person. Shit, man. Like, I mean, we're past this whole thing with weed, people. Like, you act like we're shooting up heroin. like no one's going to work shooting up heroin, being like, I'm gonna work on some candles today. Like, that's not gonna work. Like, come on, bro. Like I've accomplished more high than on smoking marijuana than you would like to believe. It's like it's not like we're shooting heroin doing stuff. Like, it's a completely different thing. Like some people just have high anxiety, and so that what it does is it slows the your brain down and stops the anxiety from going out of whack. It helps me with that way. Now some people get more anxious with it. Different things affect different people, but you just got to know how you function when you smoke it. Like, if you are the type of person that gets anxious, then don't go to work high. God. But if you're a person that functions in a point where you're just more centered, and it helps you kind of be space, because like I said, get in your space, then do what you do, but as long as you know what you're doing. But there's some people, man, it's like, but I love it. Like people really swear to weed is like shooting up freaking heroin or doing crack. I'm like, God, it is not the same thing. It's like if you really think about it, like, cigarettes are even worse than weed. It's like there's cigarettes, there's weed, and there's CBD. But yeah, it's like, it is what it is. But people have their bearings. Everybody has their little fears. There's people that still believe that reefer madness is a real thing. What is your spiritual identification? Um, in terms of like, what do I, how do I view myself spiritually? I see myself as, I don't know what's the word for it, but basically, I believe that religion and science are connected and are inadvertently the same thing. Religion is just science we can't prove, or spiritual phenomenon that occur, or um these really really like special phenomena that occurs. That stuff we just scientifically can't prove, but it ultimately is the same thing. Like, the concept of God, reality, and what this is, there's a scientific reason for it, which, like I said, is just energy. It's just creating itself and destroying itself, and creating itself and creating itself and destroying itself, basically transforming itself consistently. And we're just kind of expressing that in this sort of like way. And so that's kind of how I see life, God, and just how things work. It's just, we're just growing and becoming better versions of ourselves every hour, every minute, every second, and that's just kind of what this is. Um, that's it. My great aunt used to call it the reefers. They got the reefers, the devil's lettuce, diggity dog. Um, no, it's just that yeah, we're past that. Like, it's 2021, guys. We've got the research, we got studies, we've got all that stuff. They're literally practically selling CBD cigarettes at freaking like convenience stores. Like, come on, like let's get out of this like caveman sort of like weed is bad situation. Like, if we had more of that stuff, a lot of people would probably be acting a lot better. Jeez. But yeah, it's like, I laugh at people that swear weed is literally like is like the equivalent of just doing something hard as like crack or something. It's just like, you're not gonna get the same reaction. Trust me, you're not gonna get the same sort of like situation if you do that. But you know, you believe what you want to believe, man. Oh dang, that's cold. Well, that's not cool. Well, you know what? Just tell her everything's gonna be okay. So it's okay if you're cheap. Everything's gonna be okay. Just say everything's gonna be okay. And don't say and you're not cheap, you're frugal and resourceful. That's what they tell me. Like, you're not cheap, you're frugal and resourceful. You know what would really be funny? Like, I've always wondered, like I never got to smoke weed with my parents. My parents just my mom would have never done it. My mom would have never done it. She would have like she was the weed is the devil, don't do it. My dad, I'm pretty sure he did, but he didn't want me to know he did. Um, Maybe if he was still alive, he would have probably told me at some point that he did. Because when we walked in the car one night, because I remember going to the car in the morning and smelling this weird smell in the car, and my mom would be like, "Your dad was drinking last night. Must have been drinking last night in the car." And I'm like, "Liquor doesn't smell like this." And then I remember hotboxing at one point, and then coming back in my car one time, and I'm like, this smells like what it used to smell like when my mom would said my dad would be drinking in the car. And I'm like, my dad wasn't drinking in the car. So like I'm pretty sure my dad smoked weed. He just didn't tell me about it, which is cool. It is what it is. But I've already said this in like on Twitter. Like I'm gonna smoke weed with my kids. Like I'm not even gonna tell my kids like they can't do it. I'm like, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna like when they first start. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it at your house. And if you do it at a friend's house, and you could do it at your friend's house, but just make sure you're safe when you're doing it. And like you know, you just I'm not gonna tell you not to do something that I do. You know, I'm not gonna like. I feel like my parents were so worried about me not. My mom always believed that weed was a gateway drug, but like I will tell you from experience, I smoke weed and I have no desire to do heroin or crack or anything of that nature. I don't even snort cocaine. Like I have no desire to do any of those things. Now ayahuasca, in regards to ayahuasca. That psychedelic stuff. I would love to try it at least once to see how my brain comes out on the other side. Like I would love to just kind of go on that spiritual journey within itself. But like I would do that under the supervision of an experienced person who knows. Like I would. That's something that I wouldn't do by myself. Like I'm not stupid. Like I'm not gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna do it. There's certain things where I'm like, okay, you know, let's be logical here. But as far as like weed goes, like, man, come on. It's like, come on, man. Like, alcohol has affected me worse than weed. Exactly. It's like, I think someone said it best. I rather my kids feel comfortable to call me when bad shit happens, excuse my language, when bad things happen, rather than feel scared because they think I'm going to be upset. Like, I don't want them to think that way. Like, I don't want to be like, well, dad's going to kill us if he finds out I did this. It's just like, oh, so things can get worse. No, call me, we'll fix it, and then we'll talk about why you shouldn't have done it afterwards. But I won't like I'm not gonna be that dad to be like I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna hurt you for it. Like no, like nah, dude. It's just like this is why you should have did what you did. This is the lesson, and if you do it again, what's gonna happen to you? Like it's like what's the point of messing up your life or making you feel like you can't come to me when it's only gonna make the situation worse? I don't know, but everybody has their own way of raising their kids, so I can't really judge, but that's just how I see it. Because kids are gonna do whatever the heck they want. You can tell a kid don't do this, like you said. You could tell them don't drink, don't smoke, don't do this, but they're gonna do it. They want to do it. They're gonna do it. They're gonna sneak it. They're gonna do whatever. So just you just gotta make sure if they do it, they're safe and they're not putting anyone themselves or anyone else in danger. I think That may be true. You know, I could be that could be a concept that could be true. But you know what? It is what it is. If that's the case, it is what it is. Like I'm one of those things where like those different like that's like that those little twists like you could be dead and your brain's just kind of thinking about all your life. I think I heard a creepy pasta that did that, and I was just like, oh Lord, but like that'd be chill. I'm like, all right, well, that was like that's an interesting thought. That's a very interesting, you know, imagine that, you having to relive your life all over again. You're just like, no wonder why it feels like I'm doing this crap all over again. It's like this again, this again. It's like maybe that is the case. Maybe I did do it before. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. So the story, I want to continue doing those storybooks, but someone did say something that really did make sense. Copyright, I don't know, that's kind of funky. And so I don't know, like I've done those too, but like I don't know if some of those readers, the authors of the story are okay with me kind of reading their books and just, putting that on like the channel like that. And so like I love doing those. Those are fun. And I have a couple more books I want to read, but like at the same time, I don't want to offend any copyright laws or anything like that. So I don't know. I'll see. I'll do more research before I release any more. But I really do love it. Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty, so it's 8:23, and I really do need a jet because like I have to call somebody soon, and I have to cook, and I've kind of neglected, and so like I feel bad because like I don't plan on neglecting both um tonight, but yeah. Anyways, so that's a little bit of an update of what I've been. That's grammatically correct. Where I've been, what's been going on in my life. I'm gonna try to do more lives, but like I said, I try not to subject you guys to too much banging, but smile face, you're so late. You're so late. We just had that conversation. Short answer, yes. But we love you though. We love you very much. Just know that. Um, but yeah, I'm going to be back soon, hopefully, if life doesn't get crazy. But yeah, I have a video coming up tonight. I think it may have already been released. Let me check. Check my phone. Like I'm like, there we are. Yeah, it got released. Reiki Crystal Healing. Yeah, it got released. But anyways, have a good night, everybody. Take care, and I will see you guys soon.